Springfield students discuss their dreams, their plans for after school, and whether they plan to stay. We bring you the first of 4 panel discussions we conducted with area middle school students on today's Daily Buzz.
Today's Business Journal Daily Buzz is brought to you by 717 Credit Union.
Throughout January, the Business Journal held 4 roundtable discussions with 5th through 8th graders from 4 middle schools, East Palestine, Springfield, Campbell, and Brookfield, as well as students from the Northeast Ohio Impact Academy. The roundtables were held to gain a perspective on how young people view the region as part of the Business Journal's 15-month BRAINGAIN program, which focuses on building a culture of entrepreneurship and promoting workforce development. The panels were moderated by Business Journal content manager Jeremy Leidick. All the students were selected by the schools. The video you're about to watch has been slightly edited for time, but the subject matter and spirit of the discussion has not been altered. Today we hear from 11 students from Springfield Middle School who discuss their outlook on the community and how they plan to create a better tomorrow.
BRAINGAIN is sponsored by the Moransky Companies, Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC, and the Mahoning Valley Manufacturers Coalition. Let's talk a little bit about school. We're going to do a couple show of hands questions. Show of hands, who says science is their favorite subject? Okay, pretty much everyone in the middle here. Okay, what about math? Just one. There's our math student. And what about art? Tyler likes art. English? Allie likes English. What do you guys like? You need to raise your hands. You don't like school?
I like band.
Band? Okay, cool.
I like health.
You like health? All right. What is health class? It's clearly been a while since I was in school. So what's health class like in school?
Normally she just has us write papers, write down stuff on papers. So I think she's just trying to find out more about what we like.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we watch videos, and that's pretty much it.
What are some of the things that you talk about in health class?
We talked about I don't know what it's called. How you should communicate with people and stuff.
Okay.
And being separated and having a healthy relationship and stuff like that.
What's a healthy relationship? How do you define a healthy relationship?
Probably just, being happy with what you have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're probably going to get back to that a little bit later, so think about that. My science people. Hannah, why do you like science?
Just the topic of learning different things and about our Earth. I just really like it.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular aspect of science that you like most?
Normally my favorite unit is the space unit because I'm more focused on what's around us in our solar system.
Such as?
The planets, finding different solar systems, new galaxies.
What's something cool that you learned in the space unit that really surprised you?
I was surprised when we learned about the different tides because I only thought there were 2 tides.
Okay. All right, so you're learning stuff about the Earth. Great. Owen, did you say you like science too?
Yeah, I like science because it's a lot of hands-on stuff.
Okay.
I like doing hands-on stuff.
Tell me about something that was hands-on that you did.
We did the how to mean jobs, and we got to build stuff. And for one science class, we got to do different things. We did the density of we put it in a beaker. And we put syrup, marbles, different kinds of stuff in there to see what the densest thing was.
Okay. And so what was your impression of that project? Was it something that you even really knew about before you did it? No? Okay. So that brings me to my next question, because Owen talked about working with your hands. How many of you have heard of STEM before? Familiar with STEM? Everybody. Okay, figured as much. Who can define what STEM is? Allie.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
That's correct. And when now you guys take all STEM classes? Yeah, I'll have some STEM classes, projects, anything like that.
We did some STEM stuff in science today.
You did some STEM. What'd you do today?
She had recently downloaded an app on the school iPads, and there was like this cube, and we're in the space unit currently, and so you'd hold the cube behind it, and it would like show you the solar system, and you could click on the planets and like read about them and stuff.
When you're talking about STEM type education, where you're working with your hands, you're working with the technology, who likes that over just sitting down in a class and reading from a book? Pretty much everyone. Tyler, why do you prefer to work with your hands other than reading a book?
Because it's like better than just reading in a book, and you get to do stuff with the class more than just looking at a book.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean you get to do stuff?
You get to build things that you're learning about, and you'll sort of understand it more if you build something than just read it.
Okay. So it's sort of putting it into practice.
Yeah.
Oh, and you feel the same way? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you guys struggle with learning with books?
No.
No? Allie, you had your hand raised earlier. Tell me a little bit about like the difference between working with your hands and learning from a book.
I think it's a little more exciting to work with your hands because you get to do more projects. And reading from a book, it's more, I'd say, old school.
All right. Who else can tell me about a STEM project that you had through school? Like
7th grade, we did the science fair.
Science fair. What was that like?
We basically just picked a topic and researched about it, did an experiment including it, and we presented it to pretty much the entire middle school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was your project?
Mine was about my hunting dog and if different animal scents affected how fast he could track it.
Oh, that's interesting. What'd you learn?
I learned that he can track raccoon scents faster than everything else.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Tell me about the process. How did you get to that conclusion?
I basically took his drag, which is what you train him with, and I put different scents on it and put them in the same spot and kind of guided him around, and he just sniffed around and tracked it each time, and I timed it, and the shortest time was the raccoon.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Rachel, you're my math student.
Yeah.
Math. What do you like about math?
I like it because it kind of like challenges you to figure out an answer, and sometimes there's like multiple answers to one equation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about a time when you had a problem or an equation that was very difficult. How did you work through it?
Well, most of the time it's just like you have to follow the steps to figure it out, but depending on what type of equation it is, there's multiple steps. So sometimes you could like forget one or like skip one, then it messes everything up.
Sure. With regard to STEM and working with your hands, have you been able to find ways to apply mathematics to projects like that, or do you prefer learning from a book?
I think depending on what type of math it is, working with your hands could be better. If, like you're learning about volume and like base times height and stuff, and then, but like addition, I feel like it's just easier to like read it and then it explains how to do it, and then apply your own thinking to how to figure it out.
With STEM projects, STEM classes, who feels that you're learning something that maybe if it weren't hands-on, you'd have a more difficult time grasping the concept? Mariana?
Yes.
Yes? Tell me about something.
In math class, we've been learning about, negative numbers and positive numbers. And he gives us these like chips. They're not like chips, but like they're styrofoam chips, and they have different colors on both sides. And red means negative and white means positive. And I like using the chips because like it helps me answer the problem.
How does it help you answer the problem?
I like counting it out in my head and like counting it on the table too.
So almost having like the visual representation
Yes.
as opposed to just looking at the numbers on the page.
Yeah.
Okay, is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Brain, you had your hand up.
I don't like I feel like when you do a STEM project rather than just like reading from a book, you're more like plugged in and focused, so that way you can fully, like your mind can fully grasp it better.
So tell me about a situation where you were really focused on something and you learned something new through a STEM project.
In math class, we were playing a game, and it was about rounding decimals and adding them. And it really, like, I liked it a lot because you weren't just like sitting there and like learning, you were actually like talking and working things out with like a visual instead of just like looking at numbers.
Who gets excited when they're talking about STEM projects? Maybe? Okay. Amaya? Is it Amaya or Amaya?
Amaya.
Amaya. Tell me about, why do you get excited with STEM projects?
I get excited about STEM projects because like I'm like more of a visual learner, so it really helps me when I see it.
Do you think that these are things that you could apply in a career one day?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it opening up your mind to some careers that maybe you didn't think of before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Such as?
I want to do like graphic design and photography.
Okay.
So.
Very cool. And do you plan to go to college, or do you plan to maybe look at a trade school?
I plan to go to college.
Go to college? Okay. Who's going to college when they graduate? Like maybe, Caleb, no.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Why don't you know?
I just don't. I don't really know what I want to do in the future yet.
You don't know what you want to do in your future yet? That's okay. I don't either. Like you also mentioned that you're not sure if you're going to college or not. Explain.
I've always wanted to go into the military as soon as I was out of high school. And since I love music, I wanted to go into, it's a Marine marching band. It's called the Commandment Zone, I believe. And I wanted to do that.
What instrument do you play?
I play drums. I'm a percussionist.
Percussionist? Once you get out, I mean, do you want to pursue music professionally, or do you have other interests?
I think I want to pursue it, but depending on my financial situation, I guess I might go for something.
Well, going to the military, you probably get that GI Bill.
Yeah.
Put it towards something. So if you had to pursue professionally, like, where would you go? Were we talking symphony music, rock and roll?
Oh, I hate concert band. I cannot do that. I would love to do marching. I love marching band. That's my favorite.
That's a good one. Who knows what they want to do with the rest of their life? We're going to go down the row here. Allie, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?
I want to go to college and become a teacher.
Go to college and become a teacher? Okay, how about you, Brandon?
I want to go to college and I want to become a teacher and a doctor.
Teacher and a doctor. So, which one's first?
I kind of want to do both at the same time. Like, I probably, if I were going to be a teacher, I'd probably want to be a health teacher. So I'd probably teach my students, and then from that, I'd probably go to the, to the doctor's office and then do that and then go home.
Gotcha. Okay. Amaya?
Like I said, I would go to college, do graphic design and photography. I would like to like go to New York City and like do graphic design for many other people.
Okay. Tyler, did you have your hand up too?
I sort of do.
Sort of do?
I want to go to college and become an artist or a photographer.
Okay, you have to go to college to be an artist or a photographer?
I don't know.
You don't know? Caleb, you said you're not sure yet, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine. Hannah, what about you?
I would like to go to college and then become an anesthesiologist.
An anesthesiologist?
Yes.
That is very specific.
Yes.
Why do you want to be an anesthesiologist?
I'm more focused on helping people, and I just really like doing it.
Well, what is it about? Because, I mean, you could say that about pretty much anyone in healthcare.
Yeah.
Why anesthesia?
My mom is a nurse, so she kind of motivated me to do something that I wanted to do. And I've always wanted to actually experience something in the medical field. So when I was researching, that was it was my first option.
We're going to come back to that too.
Yeah.
Thomas, you had your hand up too.
I want to go to college and enter the draft.
Into the draft?
Football.
The NFL draft?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have any idea where you want to play for in college?
Ohio State University.
Okay. You want to be a Buckeye. So if you're amazing, in college? You're going to stick around for the 4 years, or you're going to enter early?
Stick around 4 years.
Okay, that's good. That's a good way to do it. How about you, Mariana?
I would like to go to college and become a brain surgeon.
Brain surgeon. There's a lot of healthcare people in the room today. Mariana, why brain surgeon?
I don't know. It just feels like it seems like it would be a cool job, and I feel like it will give a lot of like good money.
It could.
Yeah.
If you're good. If you're no good, then you got a lot of people mad at you. Have you ever watched a brain surgery on video before?
I watched Grey's Anatomy.
That's not a brain surgery.
I watched people like
Real
give
brain surgery. You ever watched it before?
No.
Could you handle taking out a chunk of someone's skull and cutting into their brain?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, you could.
Are there any classes that you're taking now that sort of pertain to what you want to do?
Not really. We're not really talking about that stuff yet.
Okay. Just the hopes and aspirations at this point. All right. What about you, Owen?
I want to be like a farmer, help my grandpa around the farm. I want to like, we have cows right now, and my brother and I, we have bucking bulls, and I want to be a stock contractor and take them to rodeos.
Okay.
And I want to help my grandpa farm.
Do you feel that you need to go to college to be able to do that kind of work?
No.
So why do you want to go to college?
Because my grandpa's taught me a lot over the past few years, and I think he could still teach me a lot more.
Sure. But why do you want to go to college?
I don't know, just learn a little bit more, learn a different study.
Okay. All right. Sort of supplement what you've already learned? I got you. How about you, Rachel?
Well, I want to go to college, and then I want hopefully to become a neurologist or like a neurosurgeon.
Okay. What is it about neurology that interests you?
It's like not just like the brain, it has to do with like the spine, all of your nerves, and then like you could hopefully like find cures for like Alzheimer's, like different diseases that could affect your brain and stuff.
Sure. What inspired you to like that, though? What if there was one or two events or maybe people in the past who kind of inspired you to maybe consider neurology? What is it?
Well, like I've like always thought about like what if I forget something? Then I was like, oh well, it would. And then I figured out like there's no cure for like Alzheimer's. So then just like this trying to like figure out like the cure for things and help people just kind of like I was like, oh, and it's like a lot of years of college, but like hopefully you'll be able to like fix things that weren't able to be fixed in the past.
That sort of idea of a chronic illness that there's no cure for, how much does that concern you?
I mean, I always like try to think like, what if that was me? And then like having like children and then like you not remembering them is just like scary, I guess. Or like if it was your parent and they like don't remember you, it just is like weird to think about.
Sure. Do you have anyone in your family who's in the medical profession?
No, I do
No?
not.
Okay. All right. How many people, now I want to kind of like get back into that a little bit, sort of people that have helped inspire you or maybe events that have inspired you to what you want to do. Well, who has a story about someone that inspired them to be what they want to be? Let's start over here, Bran.
My parents really just encouraged me to be whatever I want to be and do whatever I want to do. And the reason I want to be a doctor, more specifically a pediatrician, is my pediatrician, she's just really good with kids. So I kind of want to be like her and be really good with kids and be able to like help families not worry about their children.
Okay. Allie, same thing? Are you getting a lot of encouragement from your parents?
Yeah, I mean, both my mom and my dad are teachers, and one time I got to go into work with my mom and I read a story to her kids, and I just really enjoyed it.
What's your mom do?
My mom used to be a preschool teacher, but now she went to the elementary school, and she's a tutor for the kindergarten and half of first grade.
Oh, okay. How long did she teach preschool?
She taught preschool for, I think, 7 years.
Okay. And is that something is that the grade age range that you'd like to teach, or what would you like to do?
I'd like to teach maybe 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay, why 3rd or 4th grade?
I mean, I don't know. It's just I really think I work better with not super good older kids, but not younger kids. I feel like a mid-range would be good to start out with.
Okay, very good. Who else had a Blake?
My mother, she loved music and she had a musical passion as a singer. And as time went on, she got Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and her systems and her voice gradually deteriorated. So her career in music got completely ended. She was forced to stay home, and most of her dreams were stopped short. So I wanted to pursue music just like she did, and take as much from her as I possibly could and make something out of myself from it.
That's a pretty big reason to get into music. How does it make you feel knowing that you're continuing on that sort of family tradition?
It's a lot of pressure, but I think my mom wants me to do it, and I want to do it too. So.
Yeah? How's the rest of your family think about it?
My dad, he's the money guy. He's like, are you going to be able to make enough money to do this and withhold your whole entire life? And my mom just wants me to do anything that I want to with my dreams.
What's important to you, money or being happy what you're doing?
I think it's more on my mom's side. I like being happy with what I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Who else had Thomas?
My dad passed away from lung cancer, and he always came to my football games and always wanted me to keep playing and keep going through. So I want to go to the draft and make him proud.
Understood. When did he pass away?
2014.
2014. Pretty recent.
August 25th.
Gotcha. And what are you doing now, other than, I presume you play locally? What else are you doing to kind of push that dream forward?
My mom takes me to like a personal trainer every so often, and I work on my speed and agility.
Mm-hmm. What does your mom think about you pursuing football?
She does the same thing my dad wanted me to do. She just wants to keep pushing me to go play.
Mm-hmm. Amaya had your hand up, I think. What's your inspiration story?
My cousin, she does graphic design, and she always tells me about it, and she goes to Kent State, so that's where I want to go.
Oh, you want to go to Kent State? Okay, very cool. What is it about? What's maybe a project of hers that you've seen? Like, what was the key moment or the key thing that made you realize, oh man, I need to be a graphic designer?
I saw her working on, like, we went over her house, and I saw her working on her, like, tablet and, like, designing stuff. So I watched her, and I got really interested in it.
So do you like the idea of designing, like, murals, billboards, or are you more thinking, like, maybe website design or that sort of thing?
Like website design.
Web design, web development? Okay, very cool. Who knows what the trades are, what I mean by that? Anyone have any idea what I mean by the trades? How many of you have thought that maybe being a carpenter or a plumber or an electrician could be a good job? No one? All right, so no one's thinking about trade school or anything like that, even though you like working with your hands?
I'm thinking about going to either diesel mechanic or welding.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a trade right there.
I've thought about electrician, but I don't think I could work with my dad, because my dad's an electrician,
Oh.
and we butt heads a lot, and I don't think we could work with him.
You're
So I
always
was
gonna
thinking
be-
about welding or diesel mechanic.
Why that?
I want to be a diesel mechanic because when we're working on the farm, we have a lot of tractor breakdowns, and Grandpa needs help, and I want to try to help him as much as I can. And before he goes, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing on the farm.
Right. How much equipment do you guys have on your farm?
We have quite a few tractors, plows, disc grinds, combine, a lot of stuff to go over.
How big is your farm?
But property, we probably have 300 acres at our house, and then we farm a whole bunch of different land.
Very cool. What do you guys produce?
We do beef cows.
Okay.
We do hay to Grandpa. We get about 7,000 bales, square bales a year.
Okay.
We do third and second cutting. Then we do round bales and straw.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sell that, and then we sell our freezer beef.
Okay. So you like farming, you
Yeah.
like working with your hands, you're thinking about being a welder or a diesel mechanic, and yet you still raised your hand when I asked if you wanted to go to college. What about a trade school?
I think a trade school would be good because I don't like going 4 year. I want to do like a 2 year easy one. I don't want to go to college for 4 years.
Right. You guys think that when I asked, do you want to go to college, did you think that I also meant trade school or other forms of education after college or after high school? You guys thought it was pretty much the same thing? Yeah? You guys raise your hands, you think that was all pretty much the same thing?
Kind of.
It's okay if you did. It's fine. Let's talk a little bit about outside of school. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? We know Blake is our drummer. Who else has maybe something that's completely unrelated to what we've been talking about so far? Let's start down here. Allie?
I really like sports.
You like sports? How many people play sports? Thomas, we know you play sports, man. Okay. What sports do you play, Allie?
I do basketball, gymnastics, and soccer.
You're a 3-sport champion in school.
Yes.
How do you make time for everything?
Well, usually when I go home, I try to get all my homework done and everything as soon as I get done, and then I could have time for things outside of school. And most of my sports are somewhat in the summer, so it kind of balances out.
Okay. Brianne, you play sports too?
I do soccer and basketball and cheer. And I'm really fortunate because normally the practices don't overlap with each other. But cheer and soccer are just summer. But my dad, he's my soccer coach, so he can find out when the cheer practices are so that he can schedule those soccer practices for a different time.
So it sounds like you got your dad pretty much, he's setting your schedule.
Yeah, he's a really big help, and so is my mom. They're both really big supporters, so.
Okay, well that's good. Tyler, I haven't really heard from you in a while, man. Do you play sports?
I play basketball and baseball and golf in the summer.
How do you make time for everything?
Basketball is in the winter basically, but my dad tries to make me work on it in the summer. And baseball is close to the end of the school year. And I just do golf for fun on Monday mornings.
Golf for fun? That's good. So with all those different sports you got going on, do you feel that you have enough time for everything? I mean, how is it like, I don't know. I was asking because I don't know like the nicest way to ask it. Does it interfere with school at all?
Not really.
No? Not really?
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay, that's fine. How about you, Caleb? You had your hand up. What sports do you play?
Well, I didn't play this. I played basketball last year, but I didn't play it this year.
No? Was that the only sport?
I played baseball for 2 years, but that's about it.
Okay. How about you, Hannah?
I play all year round soccer, basketball, and softball.
Okay. How many people, like, because it sounds like 3 sports is kind of like the status quo here. Is everyone playing 3 sports?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Owen, playing any sports?
I do 4-H and trap shooting, 4-H trap shooting. And
Okay.
I did track last year.
Okay. So that's still like 2 or 3 extracurricular activities. Do you guys all have time? Like, I mean, how do you manage the time with all that stuff plus school? Mariana?
I play basketball, volleyball, and softball. This year I'm not playing softball though.
Yeah.
Basketball and volleyball, they're like in different seasons. So like basketball's in winter and volleyball's in the summer. I live right across the street, so it's really easy like to come to the school to practice.
Okay. Hannah, you had your hand up. How do you balance everything?
Usually when I wake up, I plan my day out because it's just easier for me to know what I'm doing. So I'll go from my morning routine, and then I'll go to school, and then I have basketball and soccer. And then when I come home, I have this like whole night routine, and I do it every night. So I'm kind of used to what I do.
What's your night routine? I'm exhausted already.
Usually, I'll come home, I'll shower, I'll eat, and then I spend time on my homework.
What about interests or activities? Blake, we know you do, but any interests or activities outside of school that relates to maybe what you want to do with the rest of your life? I'm sure no one is practicing brain surgery at home.
No.
But anything that you're doing on the side, Allie?
I mean, sometimes I'll play with my baby cousins, and that could relate to working with kids.
It could, sure. Do you do anything to kind of, do you read with them or anything?
I mean, sometimes my little cousin, I'll play with her, or I'll play with him on his iPad, and he has some learning games on there.
Okay. Brian, you had your hand up too?
My little sister, she's 4 and she's going to preschool. And she's coming to kindergarten next year, so I like play school with her. And my grandma bought her these workbooks for Christmas, so we use those sometimes, and it's just like tracing numbers and letters and stuff.
Okay, very good. Who else had their hand up? Rachel.
I have, sounds really weird. I have a suture kit. So like I know, like I could practice like giving stitches.
Okay. Who have you practiced giving stitches on?
Well, it's on like this like silicone pad, and it has like the 3 layers that like
Okay.
simulates the skin. It has like a scalpel, and then like
Wow.
the like scissors, I guess, and then kind of just like put it through and
How often do you practice with your suture kit?
a lot.
Really? That's interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. I
Yeah.
learned something today. Okay. When I ask, do you feel connected to your community? Who could tell me what that means?
You're involved in a lot of activities, going out, doing fundraising, picking up trash, something like that, really helping the community out in some sort of way, getting involved in it.
Do you feel connected to your community?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I run a charity, or I help run the ALS Association based out of Ohio. Me and my brother help gather funds and stuff like that, and I just love this community.
Great. How long have you been doing the nonprofit?
Ever since me and my family lived in Florida, so probably since I was 7.
Okay.
I've been helping raise money.
Got you. So, after you get out of the Marines, are you thinking of coming right back home, or are you just is the world your oyster?
I think there's a couple different things I would like to do, but I want to come home and just spend time with my family and base myself here until maybe my family or my mom passes away, and then I might move out.
Okay. So you feel more connected to your family than the community itself?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. What's important to you when you're thinking about where you want to be in your life looking down the road? Is it community, family, job?
Whatever looks out for my mom the most, really. I mean,
Yeah.
she's my best friend, and whatever can help benefit her the best is what my best interest is.
What would you do professionally if you came home?
Maybe help around the school, become a music teacher. Not much besides that. Maybe help out a drum line or two for marching band.
Sure. Okay. How about you, Rachel?
I don't know. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to stay. I mean, like obviously, like the community, like I love it and stuff. But I feel like I need to like go somewhere bigger.
Why bigger? What can a bigger area offer that
A smaller
this area cannot?
I feel like more, like obviously like opportunities, I guess. Like if you're a doctor and like you're in a place that's not as populated as another place, obviously you'll have more cases in a place that's more populated than not. So.
Okay, so you're thinking more about what kind of professional opportunities are going to be.
Yeah.
What about just the community connection? Do you feel connected to the Springfield area?
Yeah, like I'll go to like all like the football games, like when we went to state, and then like sometimes I like just like last week they had like a meeting, like a town meeting, I guess, and like my mom went, like she's thinking about going, so yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you got a lot of friends here, you got a lot of connections to the community. What about being heard? Like, and when I say that, do you, I'll just ask plainly, when you guys have something that you need to say, whether it's to a parent, a teacher, an elected official, someone in the community, a grown-up, do you feel like they take the time to listen? Do you feel heard? Yeah, Hannah?
Usually our community is very welcoming, so if you need advice, I'm sure you could get it from someone.
Okay. How about you, Kayla? Do you feel heard?
Yeah, I feel like if you need to talk to someone, there's always someone here to talk to.
How about you, Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you like about it?
I like the town and I like our school and all that.
What's your favorite thing to do around town?
I like to ride my bike.
You feel pretty
Throughout
comfortable riding your
town.
bike around town?
Yeah.
That's good. Not every community can, because the streets get real busy. How about you, Maya?
I feel somewhat connected.
Somewhat? Why somewhat?
Because like I don't go to like a lot of the football games, or like I help out like sometimes around the neighborhood, but I think when I'm older, because my grandma, she always does like a food pantry, and she donates, so I think I could help her with that too.
Okay. So when you're not going to the football games and maybe not helping out with the food pantry, what are some things you do just to keep busy day to day?
I do dance.
Okay.
So I stretch like when I have nothing to do, and I just like make up random dances.
Make up random. Be a choreographer one day, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. Do you feel connected enough to your community that you'd want to stick around even after you graduate college, or are you thinking, I need to get out of here?
I like our community, like where I go to dance, like I could graduate and then I could come back to be like a dance teacher or something.
Mm-hmm. You'd be all right being in a small town, not a big city?
Yeah.
Not working in New York City? Teaching in New York City?
I would do both if I could.
Okay, very good. How about you girls? You like the community?
Yeah.
You feel connected?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Like I come to school, my friends come to school, and they're like, "Oh, did you go to the party last night?" And I'm like, "What party?" So like sometimes I don't know what's going on through the community, but other times I do feel connected because I do try and go to all the home football games. I go to some of the away ones, and then we try to go to all the home basketball games. We go to some of the away ones. And the newspaper committee, we sell the newspapers here, like at the school, for 25 cents.
Okay.
Like a newspaper, and we're donating it all to a charity, and that's been my article the past 3 newspapers.
No kidding. How much you guys donate to the charities?
We're gonna save up all the money from the newspaper, and we're gonna donate it all at the end of the year.
You know which charity you're going to donate to?
We're gonna donate it to Angels for Animals.
Angels for Animals. Very nice. And so there's a newspaper club at this school? I'm probably going to talk to you a little bit after.
Okay.
All right. So obviously football games are a big school event. Are there any other events that the school has? And I'm just asking anyone. What are some other events that the school has, like career fairs or something like that, that kind of gets you guys engaged and gets you thinking about some of these things we've been talking about? Like?
We have band shows sometimes where we go out and there's big groups of all the bands in the community. We all get together and just play songs and stuff.
Okay. And is the public invited? Come check it out. Do you guys all go?
No, they probably
I've
don't.
never heard of it.
I've never
What? You've never heard of it? You
No.
just did now. You're going to go?
Go to Campus Fair.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There we go. Nothing better than live music.
Yeah, Canfield Fair's one of them too. We
Oh,
do
really?
that.
Canfield Fair?
I went to the Canfield Fair like 2 times this year.
I was there all
2
day.
times.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
All there, every day. Well, that's your jam, man. With 4-H. What do you do at the Canfield Fair?
We do steers and pigs. Last year we had 10 steers and 5 pigs.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 pigs each per kid, so my dad could sell them. We had 17 pigs this year and 10 steers, plus my dad's 30 head of beef cattle.
Yeah.
And then my brother and I own like 10 cows.
Gotcha. Now, being engaged in farming and that sort of thing, do you still feel connected to your community?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. In what way?
I like coming out. We help our neighbors. We have a bunch of neighbors. We call him, we take him in as family. And he has prosthetic leg, and he is always working on his roof and tearing down stuff. So he calls us whenever he needs help, and sometimes he won't admit he needs help, and he needs help. So we'll show up and we'll just try to help him as much as we can. And our neighbors need wood put in their basement, and we help them and just do whatever they need.
Okay. Seems pretty tightly knit. Very cool. What about being the farming community? How's the farming community in this area?
We have people around the area. They call us whenever they need help, and we help them.
Yeah.
We help load hay and unload hay and do all kinds of different stuff.
So, since you're into the farming, I'm going to ask you this, because this is kind of related to what we're talking about. What are your thoughts on the environment? How do you any concerns, anything like that? No concerns at all? Okay. Anyone have any concerns about the environment? Hannah?
No, but when I'm older, I would like to be waste-free.
What are some things you're doing now to be waste-free, to get yourself there?
I'm focused on recycling and composting, but most of the time, that's just about it.
Does your family recycle?
It depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
Does the school recycle? Do you have recycling bins
Yes,
throughout?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good. You guys all recycling?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, kind of, a little bit. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about that maybe I'm not thinking to ask? Anything at all? No?
I don't know.
Did you guys feel heard today?
Yes.
Yeah? Did you enjoy the conversation?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find more content from our student panels and our Brain Gain program under the Brain Gain tab at businessjournaldaily.com.
717 Credit Union, a community-minded partner to help you succeed. Business loans, business checking, and business money market and certificates. 717 Credit Union. We're a local business too.